Inside, outside, big, small, middle, we've got it all for you today. Follow along. Here we go with
Kanji for month or moon. And you know, if you take the moon in the side with some cloud passing by, that's evening. In the evening, if you have your magic wand, you know that magic is stronger outside. That's a character for outside. Of course, if you have your magic wand and a mouth, that's a fortune teller talking. Makes sense. Everyone knows that.
river.
Squeeze together, one drop gives you water. If you put three dots, now that goes into any character to give it a water flavor, such as having the sun. One drop of the sun is the color white. Of course, if you add white to water, you have a hotel, because there you're washing up in the white linen at the hotel. That's staying overnight. You know, this character added to any kanji becomes a person-related character, but the actual person looks like this. And a person with their arms spread out wide is telling you how big their fish story is. That's the character for big. If you chop something in half, you're going to get it really small. And if you're in the middle of big and small, you're in the middle. That makes sense. So you can have small, middle, large. Now, we always talked about this as being the middle, but what about if you're talking about being outside versus inside? Well, now middle doesn't work. You want to have a person inside this wrapped up bolt of cloth. You keep them inside. That's our inside and our outside. Of course, you remember that if we have a top hat with that bolt of cloth, we're talking about a city. Well, now if I have a top hat with a small mouth, I'm talking about a capital. So if I take the east character over here and add it to our capital, I get East Capital, which happens to be Tokyo. And over here we have the character for woman. It looks like a woman crossing her legs, and here is her child. Notice I have the head, the body wrapped up in a nice little cloth that carries out very quickly, with the baby got their arms extended. If I put the mother and her baby together, well, that's a woman's love. That means like, but it's a deeper like than anybody can ever imagine. Of course, if you take a house, use a smokestack there and put a woman inside, well, now you're safe. This is a safe, calm, relaxing space. That's the character for relax and to be safe. Now, you remember the character for mouth. If I put some lines right in the middle of the mouth, I line it up, I get you a nice rice field. That rice field, by the way, you remember if you had the character 9 with those baseball players, the heels kicked up, if you keep them from kicking up the heels, that reveals a lot of power. If you put some power under that rice field, now we're talking about a man. Man versus woman. Remember, if you're going to the bath, do not go into the red with the bath lady written. You want to go into the man one, unless you are a woman. This is the character for a nail or a street sign that you might see nailed up somewhere. If you have a mouth under that nail, well, now we're going to be talking about all kinds of possibilities. Can you imagine what you can do with a mouth full of nails? That's right. If you have a mouth full of nails, anything's possible. But if somebody sees you with that, they're going to ask questions. This is our character for what's going on. Nani? People want to know. Of course, if you have that same field with a nail, now you have a sign up saying that this is a small village. See the rice field? Of course, that goes in with our city. Remember our top hat in our city. And then, of course, our capital. Here we have the full smorgasbord, ready to roll. Let's jump on over to trees. Everyone knows what a tree looks like, but did you know that 2 trees is going to give you a grove? Or how about 3 trees is going to give you a forest? Or even better yet, let's go with 4 trees to get a jungle. I'm kidding. Jungle doesn't exist. That's one I made up. Disregard. And now the last one here is the character to stop. Look at that. You can almost see someone putting up their hand, putting their foot down, saying stop. This can also mean footwork, but that's for another time. But I'm going to cross the line. So people, if they don't cross the line, I'm going to go right across it. That is the character for correct. One more line after stop. Right? You cross that line. Now, if you cross that line, you may ever see sometimes people in America counting like this. They're doing a quick count. You say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, in Japan, they do the same thing, but they use this character tadashi, correct. They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you're ordering gyoza, you're ordering sushi, and you go into that sushi round up top, and you go 1, or maybe they'll say you ordered 2 salmon, or maybe you ordered 3 salmon, or better yet, you did 4. You know what? You went for the smorgasbord and you bought 5 of those. That's a quick way to count on that order form. And then you know you have the character for yen. Here you are buying something for 3,000 yen, but you may see it written as 3,000 yen. Now this character over here is that bell-shaped hood with our walking stick. We only have one of those, and that's because it's exactly round to get our walking stick in here. You're going to beat that thing to submission, get some money out of it. This is actually the character for N. We say yen in English, but in Japanese they say N, E-N-N. Now you may want to write this entirely in kanji. You remember this is 3,000. We have our comma on top of 10. Yen, 3,000 yen. Of course, you may want to write the whole thing in kanji, and then you have 3,000 yen. Well, what if you had 30,000 yen? Well, of course, we'll add our yen symbol up here. If you like, though, you can make it 10,000 yens. Or even better yet, let's go with all kanji. 10,000 yens. 30,000 yen. As a bonus, what happens if you take all the waters and you stop them? Well, there's going to be some sparks flying. It'll be very astringent without any liquid flowing in that area, especially if it's down in a valley. You can tell it's a valley because you have all these roofs with a mouth way at the bottom. This happens to be, ladies and gentlemen, the character for a town in Japan. Anybody know? That's right. This is Shibuya, which is a town you can find in Tokyo. That's all. Thanks for dropping by.